Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. Today guys, many things to mention in our video, from Real Madrid to Rodrygo situation, Tottenham signing, what's going on with Gyokeres, with Madueke, and more. Let's jump into it together. And so guys, today together as always to update you on all the latest, and today congratulations to Tottenham because they signed an excellent player to start this new project with the new coach Thomas Frank. Agreement done for Mohammed Kudus. I told you over the weekend, only Tottenham, despite the reports about Chelsea, despite the reports about more clubs, the player only wanted to go to Tottenham. Very clear in his intentions, despite calls and approaches from several clubs. Kudus wanted to play for Spurs, and now the deal is completed. £55 million paid in 3 years for Mohammed Kudus to leave West Ham and join Tottenham Hotspur. The contract will be valid for the next 6 years, with medical tests to take place this week in London, next 24 hours the first part, and then Kudus will complete everything right after. And so an important addition for Tottenham, an ambitious move. Also, I told you today that Tottenham have still not received any official bid from Atletico Madrid for Cuti Romero, so that's another story we always have in the media in the recent weeks and months. But at the moment for Cuti Romero the situation remains quiet, with no big changes with Atletico Madrid. But for Tottenham the best news of the day is of course about Mohammed Kudus joining the club. An excellent addition really for Thomas Frank, who will have an important player like Mohammed Kudus to use in Champions League, in Premier League. An excellent move for Spurs. Many things to say guys, also about more movements in England. I wanted to start clarifying guys, despite all the messages I'm getting on Jadon Sancho, that at the moment, despite the calls taking place in the recent weeks, Juventus have still not sent any official bid to Manchester United for Jadon Sancho. So at the moment, I know there are many reports coming out from Italy, but from what I'm told, Manchester United have not received any official bid from Juventus for Jadon Sancho. So that remains the situation at the moment. We will follow the situation, but first we had many stories on Fenerbahce in advanced talks, and that was not true. On Jadon Sancho Juventus, they asked about the player, it was days ago, but at the moment it's not a concrete negotiation because there is still no bid to Manchester United. So we will see what's going to happen with Jadon Sancho. There is movement on Hugo Ekitike, with interest from Saudi, but the priority of the player remains England, and with Newcastle interested in Hugo Ekitike. There is still interest also from more clubs, because clubs like Liverpool, Chelsea have been calling for the player for weeks, since June, for example, being informed on the situation of Hugo Ekitike. Newcastle also interested in the player, and so we will see what's going to happen with the Eintracht striker this summer transfer window. On Real Madrid, guys, tonight Rodrygo is again on the bench. 5 consecutive games on the bench for the Brazilian. So after the Club World Cup, so from next week, Rodrygo's camp will speak to Real Madrid to clarify the situation about his future. And Rodrygo could be one to watch this summer, because Real Madrid will leave everything into his hands. So if Rodrygo wants to go, if Rodrygo wants to leave for Real Madrid, that can be okay. It decides the player in this case. And so let's see what's going to happen with Rodrygo. Then Real Madrid obviously will have the right to ask whatever they want in terms of transfer fee, in terms of details of the deal. So it's going to be up to Real Madrid to negotiate. But in terms of intentions, Real Madrid will let Rodrygo do what he wants to do. So we will be following the situation of Rodrygo in the upcoming days and weeks, because 5 consecutive times on the bench for a player of the level of Rodrygo Goes, it sounds really strong as a message from Xabi Alonso. Álvaro Carreras, guys, I maintain my position. Exclusive story yesterday telling you that the idea was to include Obrador in the agreement between Benfica and Real Madrid, and that's the case because the young fullback today was in Lisbon for medical test and contract signing. Here we go, confirmed from Real Madrid to Benfica, and next is going to be Álvaro Carreras to Real Madrid from Benfica. Agreement done already months ago with the player, and now the two clubs are finalizing the transfer after the Club World Cup. Álvaro Carreras will be a new left back for Real Madrid if everything goes to plan, but as I mentioned, the conversation is already very advanced, going very well for Álvaro Carreras to become a new left back of Real Madrid, with Xabi Alonso very happy to get him. He's a player they really wanted at Real Madrid already in June for the Club World Cup. That was not possible. Then during the conversations, during the competition, Real Madrid decided to be more quiet, to wait for the end of the Club World Cup to attack the situation again for Álvaro Carreras, also because it was not possible to have the player in the competition because of the regulations from FIFA. And so now, after Club World Cup, Real Madrid will have the left back they wanted, Álvaro Carreras. Then, guys, many things to say about Arsenal, Chelsea, something to clarify, especially on two cases. The first one is the one of Viktor Gyökeres. I keep receiving many questions from Arsenal fans of Viktor Gyökeres. Guys, I know there are some suggestions in the recent days that the deal was already done and completed. That was not done, but it doesn't mean that the deal is not getting done. So, calma about the Gyokeres story. There was crazy excitement on Sunday, and I understand that because Arsenal made important progress. Arsenal are in very advanced talks for Viktor Gyökeres, and that doesn't change, so it remains advanced, it remains concrete, it remains absolutely on the deal for Viktor Gyökeres. Then the deal was not done, because before calling the deal done, you need an agreement club to club. The agreement with Gyökeres remains done, it's a 5 years contract. What I can tell you today is that Gyökeres, even in the recent hours, has been very clear with Sporting. He will not show up for training, so he is expected, eventually, if they don't close the deal before, to show up in 2 days, but the message is very clear from Viktor Gyökeres: he will not show up, he doesn't want to train or to play for Sporting anymore. He wants to go to Arsenal. Very clear from the player. So now the two clubs remain in conversation about the gap they have in valuation for Viktor Gyökeres. Let's follow the situation, let them work, let them negotiate. I will not be negative on this Gyökeres story. The conversation is ongoing, Arsenal are working on it. Let Arsenal work, let Sporting work, let all the people involved work with Viktor Gyökeres, who is doing his very best to go to Arsenal. Today, Arsenal sent a first bid to Chelsea for Noni Madueke. So club-to-club contact, I told you in the morning on my accounts that Arsenal and Chelsea were going to speak in the following hours. It happened, so story confirmed, and Arsenal presented a bid. From what I'm told, is around £50 million add-ons included. Chelsea want more. Chelsea want to start from 50 and go over this, including maybe some add-ons. Why? Because Chelsea use, for example, Anthony Elanga and some similar deals this summer as reference for the deal of Noni Madueke. So let's see how the conversation will continue. The relationship club to club, Chelsea-Arsenal, is very good. I would say excellent. So the two clubs are in conversation. Let's see if they can reach an agreement. Madueke already has an agreement with Arsenal. Madueke has been presented the project already 1 week ago. Mikel Arteta is very keen on signing Madueke. Madueke is very excited about the opportunity to go to Arsenal, but now he's on the clubs. So conversations ongoing, first bid on the table, the two clubs are discussing, are negotiating, but Noni Madueke remains a concrete option for Arsenal, a target, an important target for Arsenal, separate from the story regarding Eberechi Eze. Because obviously Eberechi Eze remains a target for Arsenal. In that case, I told you, it was almost 1 week ago when I told you that Arsenal made contact with the agents of Eberechi Eze. That remains the case. Arsenal are speaking to the player. The player is keen on a move to Arsenal, so Eberechi Eze remains one of the names on the shortlist. Then before closing the deal, obviously, also in this case, you need to talk to Crystal Palace, and that's not an easy point, but for sure is a separate story from Noni Madueke, separate story, obviously, also from Viktor Gyökeres. Deal remains absolutely on, and for Gyökeres, Arsenal remain in active conversation to get it done as soon as possible. And so, guys, let me know your thoughts on all these stories, from Gyokeres to Noni Madueke, Eberechi Eze, but also Sancho, Ekitike, Álvaro Carreras, Rodrygo, where should he go? And then Kudus to Tottenham. How do you rate this deal? Let me know here in the comments. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.